Yeah, let's just do a little bit of navel gazing, a little bit of post-mortem, if you like. I want to show you a little bit of what Andrew Hastie had to say on Sky News this morning, and he reflected on some of the mistakes of the campaign.
The truth of it is that it was released much too late. We only gave it 10 days before the election. It should have been released before the election, and we would have had a much longer time to talk about it. But these decisions were taken centrally, and that's something we're going to learn from going forward.
Yeah, Andrew Hastie, the Shadow Defence Minister at the time, talking about the late release of the defence policy. Clearly he wanted to, we now know, wanted to release it earlier. What he says makes a lot of sense. Do you need to have this sort of public airing of all the mistakes, or do you keep this internal, Zoe?
Well, look, I think people need to see that we are really examining what we did wrong. Right? We are being honest about it. We are being frank about it. I called out to my local community yesterday in terms of my Liberal members and said, tell me what you'd do differently, and particularly how we as a party reach those who are under 40 and how we bring professional women on the journey with us. Our policies suit the needs of professional women too, but we don't explain it terribly well. The point Andrew was making about the delay of policy was really important. I have an electorate where 34% of people are over 60 years of age. They like to read what we're planning on doing. And when you put out a small business policy or an education policy or indeed a defence policy, after the time that our printed materials are done, it's virtually impossible to get the message out as to what you're putting on the table and what is a critical contribution to the choice people are going to make. So I share Andrew's frustration. I had particularly ones, a small business one, even the U-tax, so important down here. Everybody drives, Ford Rangers are everywhere. Those were really important additions to people's reflections on who's going to be best to run the country, and we just left it too late.
Yeah, you can't be shy about this. You've got to talk about the mistakes, because you've got to start, as you mentioned earlier, hit the ground running. There's so much to challenge this government on from the get-go, so you can't just have all the examination private and long-term. I just want to get your thoughts quickly on a big development news-wise out of Victoria. I want to show these pictures that we've been showing on Sky News this afternoon, because police have released footage, dramatic footage of the moment the Adas synagogue was torched in Melbourne last year. Now, they've made a couple of arrests. They obviously hope to arrest more people. Here's what Assistant Commissioner Stephen Nutt said today.
This arson was an anti-Semitic crime. To set alight a synagogue is to strike at the heart of the Jewish community. But if the purpose of this arson was to weaken the resolve of the Jewish community, my observation is it hasn't worked. And on the CCTV footage we're releasing today, you will see the opposite. Cowards who cover their faces, who carry out an attack on a place of worship.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear some arrests have been made, but they need to get the culprits and press charges here, Zoe. It's such an important case.
Yeah, look, it's really dramatic video, and I'm really relieved to see both the action taken by the police today, but equally the engagement with the local Jewish community. There is still real concern within the community that something that was so terrorising that happened at that synagogue has at this far gone unaddressed. But it looks like there's action afoot. That's terrific. I won't say any more. I'm a lawyer by training. We know not to say things when these things are being considered. But it's great, the engagement, the information that's been provided to the local community as well.
Great stuff. Thanks for joining us again, Zoe. I appreciate it. Zoe McKenzie there, the Liberal MP for Flinders.